Every husband's nightmare. I survived a crash, then caught my wife's double-life cheating wife. I didn't lose my marriage in a fight, I found its corpse by accident. Hey, I'm Caleb, 36. My wife is Riley, 34. We've been together 10 years, married 7. No kids, by choice, just a beagle rescue named Maple who thinks every delivery driver is a supervillain. I was always the steady one, project ops at a medtech company. Riley worked brand strategy at a very neon, very kombucha startup. Here's the twist right up front. My car accident is what saved me. 3 months ago I got T-boned at a light. Woke up in the hospital with a busted collarbone, a mess of bruises, and an 4 that beeped like it had opinions. Riley was there, eyes shiny, squeezing my hand. She said all the right words, "You scared me, I'm here, we'll get through this." I believed her. Then a nurse rolled in a bouquet addressed to her, not me, with a card that read, "You were so strong last night. Proud of you. D." I thought it was from her boss. I was wrong. While I learned how to sit up without seeing stars, Riley lived on support group nights, post-shift debriefs, and late runs to clear my head. She turned my ring on her finger so the stone faced her palm, said it kept it safe. Little things stacked. Her phone started sleeping face down, notifications went off for focus, and she switched her lock screen from Maple to a quote about privacy as self-care. I told myself pain meds make you paranoid. When the doctors cleared me home, the house felt rearranged. Same furniture, different gravity. Riley moved like a host in a hotel lobby, bright, helpful, slightly elsewhere. She'd kiss my forehead, not my mouth, and smell like this expensive citrus and cedar scent I've never owned. "Client gifting," she said when I asked. "Perk of the job." Bills got slippery. A wellness day pass, at a boutique hotel across town. Rideshares ending 3 blocks from our place instead of our door. A new line item in the budget called voice coach, cash only. When I gently raised an eyebrow, she smiled like I'd told a cute joke. "Don't spiral, Caleb. You've been through trauma." Mom Linda brought casseroles and that nurse-calm voice, "Rest isn't laziness." Dad, Mike, accidentally fixed a door hinge that wasn't broken and asked very softly, "You good, son?" Riley's mom, Darlene, posted an Insta story, "Girls who want more get more," tagged Riley with a glitter heart. Her brother Jay sent me a DM that said, "Give my sis space, king." I didn't know we were running a stage show. The first loud sign came on a Sunday. Riley said she was going to a grief circle for caregivers. 20 minutes later our TV lit up with a casting notification from her phone. She'd forgotten to disconnect. A photo gallery flickered for half a second. Elevator mirrors, a hotel lamp I recognized, and Riley's smile tilted toward a man's shoulder. Then the screen went black. I stared at my reflection and did what I do for a living, started a file. Title, "If I'm Overreacting." Because you can lie to your family. You can't lie to a file name. I started collecting crumbs because crumbs were all I had. Calendar screenshots. Odd charges. Her new, "Do not disturb till 6 a.m. habit." The bouquet card from the hospital, just the initial, D. I told myself it was Dana from design. I wanted it to be Dana so badly I almost believed it. Then the universe handed me a megaphone disguised as a glitch. Our friends Harper and Dylan had us over for game night. They'd got a newborn and one of those smart baby monitors you can view from your phone. Months ago I'd helped Dylan set it up, so the app still lived on my iPad. Halfway through charades, Riley volunteered to check on the baby. Dylan stayed on the couch. Harper poured lemonade. My iPad, on the kitchen counter, screen asleep, woke up by itself and mirrored the nursery feed to our TV. Nobody touched it. Just connected. At first, green static, crib bars, the soft white noise of a sleeping house. Then the camera auto-swiveled toward the guest room corner. Fabric rustle. A whisper I know better than my own name. Riley's laugh, lower than usual, like she'd turned the brightness down. A man's voice, close and warm. 5 minutes are, tomorrow, back in trance. Fern by the ice machine. He called her Star. She replied, playful and very gentle, "Don't be late, D." I felt my chest empty out. On screen, just shapes. No faces, nothing explicit. 2 silhouettes too familiar with each other, shoulder to cheek, the kind of kiss that knows exactly where to land. No stumbling, no surprise. A routine. Harper bolted and killed the feed, saying, "Sorry, tech gremlins," hands shaking. The room did Midwestern denial. Everyone studied their drinks. Riley floated back in a minute later, cheeks bright, lipstick perfect again, and squeezed my shoulder like I was the one who needed comfort. "Everything okay?" she asked, eyes clear like a lake you can't see the bottom of. In the car, she hummed to a playlist of slow R&B she used to roast me for. "You're quiet," she said. I told her I was tired. It was true in about 9 different ways. Back home, she took a long shower. Steam curled under the door, that cedar citrus scent threaded the hall. I stood in the kitchen and felt like an extra in my own life. When she padded out in my faded college tee, peace-offering uniform, I noticed something I'd never seen: a thin black phone sliding into her tote under a coil of mic cable. When she went to switch the laundry, I looked. I swear I didn't snoop, I looked. The screen lit with a gentle tap. No passcode. A minimal home screen. 2 apps in a folder named Tools. Messages from Dante at the top. Dante, back in trance again. Key under Fern. Be good. Dante, you were strong at the hospital. Scared me. Don't. He needs me calm. Tomorrow. Scared me. Hospital. The bouquet. I scrolled exactly 3 more inches because my hands started to shake. Elevator mirrors. A hotel lamp I recognized from a rooftop fundraiser. Nothing graphic, just angles meant for one set of eyes. Voice notes I didn't press because I didn't trust my ears. A calendar labeled tasting D 7:30. Beneath it, delete later. I put the phone exactly where it was, lined up the strap so I wouldn't second-guess myself, and carried Maple outside because moving forward felt impossible but walking in a circle was still walking. On the curb, under a streetlight that buzzed like it was anxious for me, I opened If I'm Overreacting and added a new subfolder. Fern. Dates. Screenshots. Times. Not to explode. To understand. When we climbed back up, Riley was in bed on her side, that perfect TV movie pose, thumb moving under the blanket. She turned and patted the pillow. "Come on," she said softly. "You need rest." She kissed my forehead then, like muscle memory, leaned in and found my mouth, slow and sure. The kiss should have been comfort. Tasted like mint and a secret. I lay there counting her breaths like I've done 1,000 nights. Somewhere around 50, her phone buzzed once. The lock screen flashed a preview before Do Not Disturb swallowed it. D, proud of you. Same time? The room suddenly felt too clean. I stared at the ceiling and promised myself one thing. Tomorrow I would stop guessing and start asking. Polite. Clear. No shouting. Just daylight. Morning made everything look reasonable, which is the most dangerous lighting there is. I made coffee strong enough to argue and set 2 mugs on the island. Riley breezed in wearing my hoodie, hair in a who me, not humming that new playlist. I kept my voice calm. Can we go over a few things? I slid my laptop around. Folder labeled Fern open. A paused frame from the baby monitor, just the corner of a guest room, the tilt of a camera, nothing explicit but suggestive enough to make my pulse stutter. She smiled like a kindergarten teacher. Noah, tech glitches happen. I agree. This is not a glitch. I clicked to the hotel's public Instagram. Their lamp, same brass curve, reflected in a mirror selfie from the secret phone. Next tab. Amex charge to the same boutique hotel, 10:54 p.m., wellness. She didn't blink. Client hospitality. We used a room to review brand assets. Quiet. The clerk said they only offer guest suites. Then they comped it, she said a shade faster. We didn't even sit down. You're reading tone into receipts. I kept it kind. Who is Dante? Her mouth made a perfect O, then a laugh. My coworker. We're prepping Q3. He calls everyone star as a joke. You're being sensitive. Why did his message say, you were strong at the hospital? She picked up her mug, set it down, picked it up again. He was worried about you. I told him you were brave. Wow. I opened the message's screenshot, names cropped, timestamps visible. Dante, back in trance again. Key under Fern. Be good. Riley tilted her head, went cool. You went through my phone? That's a boundary violation. My therapist would have words. You don't have a therapist. Dana is basically a therapist. Silence has gravity. I let it pull. She shifted from cool to hot in a breath. You're smothering me, Noah? You want me barefoot baking banana bread while you count my notifications. That's not fair, I said. I want us to tell the truth. Fine. She pushed her chair back. We kissed once. Champagne. Stupid. I panicked. I stopped it. Her eyes glassed over on cue. She slipped off the stool and onto her knees like her bones had remembered choreography, palms up. Please. I hate this version of me. I'll fix it. I'll block him. I'll switch teams at work. I'll change numbers. I'll hand you every password. Just don't throw us away. I hated that a part of me wanted to lift her, say it was okay, rewind to before ferns meant anything. I took a breath instead. Then hand me the phones and we'll go through them together. The tears paused like an actor forgetting a line. She stood so fast the stool scraped. I am not living under surveillance. You don't get to be warden because you're anxious. Riley, I said gently, a warden locks doors. I'm asking for windows. She laughed, sharp, mean adjacent. You're safe, Noah? That's the whole problem. You're so safe you make me feel asleep. Then, as if realizing she'd said it out loud, she dropped back down, forehead to my knee, voice shredded. I didn't mean that. I'm scared. Please. My phone buzzed on the island. A preview flashed before dimming. D, keep tonight. He'll be fine. He's safe. We both read it. The room cooled by 10 degrees. I straightened the papers I'd printed because my hands needed a job. Here's what I can live with: full transparency, phones, calendars, accounts. No contact with him. Location sharing. Therapy we choose together. 30 days of glass. At the end we reevaluate. She stared at the mug, at me, at the window. You're humiliating me, she whispered, then louder, angrier. You're controlling. I'm offering a bridge, I said. If you won't step on it, that's an answer too. Her shoulders dropped. She nodded, messy. Okay. Glass, she said and slid her phone across, screen up. I'll prove it. I unlocked it with the code I already knew from 100 movie nights. Messages. Recent deletes. Hidden albums. She watched me like a patient watching a surgeon's face. I didn't raise my eyebrows or sigh. I just scrolled, quietly, while the coffee went cold between us and the word safe hung over the island like a storm cloud that finally knew my name. Glass started at noon on a Tuesday. I mirrored Riley's location to my laptop, added shared calendars, set up transaction alerts. It felt unromantic and necessary, like a seatbelt after a crash. Day 1 gave me hope. Screenshots of a blocked number, done. An email to HR asking for a team transfer, for focus. Her blue dot at her sister Avery's condo by 9:40 p.m. She FaceTimed me from Avery's couch, blanket, tea, contrite eyes. I'm embarrassed, Noah. Thank you for giving me a chance. I wanted to believe that sentence so badly it hurt. Day 3, the blue dot paused downtown for 20 minutes at client reset, then jumped to Avery's again. A minute later the calendar event disappeared. Fat thumbs, Riley texted with a heart. My bank dinged, boutique hotel, $209, wellness at 10:56 p.m. I called the desk, voice steady. The clerk chirped, we only offer guest suites. I wrote it down, thanked her and sat very still. When Riley came home the next morning she was extra tender. Hands on my shoulders, forehead to mine. I almost broke. I didn't. She slipped to her knees, palms up, mascara unsmudged this time, voice threadbare. Please don't give up on us. I said we'd talk after therapy. Therapy tried to juggle nuance. What did Dante give you that Noah didn't? The counselor asked, gentle. Riley stared at the carpet. He made me feel chosen. Noah is safe. I breathed until my ribs ached. I have never resented a good word more. That night I couldn't sleep. I walked the balcony to cool my head and heard muffled whispering through the slider. Riley's silhouette, phone to her cheek, back turned. I didn't move. I opened voice memos and set my phone on the table because memory lies when you want it to be kind. Her voice was low, unperformed. No, don't text. HR is sniffing. He'll stay, he's safe. That's who he is. I miss you too, but we have to torch the trail. Delete tasting, no more paper. Back in trance only. Pause. Then softer, almost a laugh I didn't recognize. You were strong at the hospital. I knew then. The hospital. I felt the floor tilt under old four poles. She slid the door open and found me standing there with the kindest face I could borrow. Reflex. Knees, palms up, eyes huge. Noah, I'm trying. That was Avery, she's dramatic. I pressed play. The room filled with her unvarnished voice plotting my predictability. She folded onto the rug like strings cut. I'm sorry, she said over and over like repetition could braid a rope out of air. I took the couch and stared at the ceiling fan until the blades felt like a clock sawing through the last of my patience. Day 6, skeleton started to knock. A collections email for a credit line I'd never heard of, emergency card, with my name as guarantor, co-signed by her mother, Kendra. Charges read like an itinerary, flights, voice coach, boutique rooms. When I asked, Riley whispered, I was going to repay it when the promotion hit. The promotion didn't. The bill did. Day 8, her brother Jace posted a story with a rooftop boomerang. If you paused at the right frame, you could see Riley's silver dress in the corner, a familiar jaw, and the lamp that had become my enemy. He captioned it, "Boss Moves." I DM'd him, "Please take that down." He replied with sunglasses emojis. Day 9, HR emailed me, "Separate companies, same city, we're conducting a review of potential boundary concerns in a partner account. If you have factual dates, we'll accept them confidentially." I didn't tattle. I sent timestamps, receipts, and nothing mean. Boring had become a form of mercy. We staged a family check-in at my parents' place because my mother believes brisket can fix the planet. My dad, Mark, brought a toolbox he didn't need. Mom, Teresa, set tissues beside the pie like she knew the forecast. Kendra arrived with a ring light energy and said, "Let's center growth." Jace filmed the casserole like content owes him rent. I queued a 10-minute deck on the TV. Rooftop still, hotel receipts, the balcony audio. Riley tried every mask: brazen, reflections distort; wounded, you're humiliating me; contrite, knees, palms, I'll be holy, I'll be boring, just don't end us. Kendra clapped once, slow. "This is patriarchal surveillance," she announced. Mom's voice cut through like a sewing pin. "It's dates and dollars." My phone buzzed on the coffee table. "Dante, back entrance. He'll be fine. He's safe." Even Jace stopped recording. Something in me stopped begging the story to be kinder. I opened a new folder on my desktop that night and named it what it was: Exit. Not because I wanted to leave. Because staying had turned into a costume that didn't fit my bones anymore. I called an attorney the next morning, Ms. Patel, recommended by a coworker who survived a quiet hurricane. She spoke like a level on a wobbly shelf. "No speeches," she said. "Paper. Locks. Timelines." I emailed her a neat packet: the rooftop still, hotel receipts, the balcony audio, and a log I'd named Reality with columns for date, dollar, and lie. While we were on the phone, HR hers pinged again, "Factual timeline appreciated." I sent only nouns and numbers. No adjectives. My hands shook anyway. Patel gave me a checklist that read like oxygen. Open a solo account. Reroute direct deposit. Freeze joint cards at 8 a.m. on move day. Photograph assets. No contact outside counsel/therapy. Get the dog terms in writing. Yes, really? I did all of it before lunch. The bank app looked like a lifeline. The joint card looked like a faucet I finally turned off. At home, Riley cycled through all her seasons in 20 minutes. First, summer, bright, breezy. I scheduled therapy. Look. Then winter, hard edges. You made me feel caged. Then a sudden storm, knees on the rug, palms up, mascara perfect. "Please, Noah. I'll sign anything. Post-nup. Passwords. I'll sleep on the floor." She kissed the toe of my shoe. I felt like a museum guard watching someone touch the art, saddened and done. The hospital thread tugged at me. I texted my rehab nurse from back then, Lena, who once taught me how to sit without fainting. Weird ask, "Do you remember my physical therapist?" Tall, square jaw, wore a charcoal watch. She replied in under a minute, "Dante. Contract PT." Why? My stomach went quiet in that dangerous way. She added, "Riley brought him coffee more than once. Said he was saving our family." I thought it was sweet. The floor moved. So the timeline wasn't after. It was during. While I relearned stairs, they were trading smiles over gate belts. I confronted Riley as gently as I could manage. "Did you meet Dante at the hospital?" She blinked, then chose bravado. "He helped you." "I helped him help you." When I didn't buy it, she pivoted to wounded. "I was scared. You were so pale. He made me feel okay." Then to angry, "Are you going to punish me for needing comfort while you napped?" "I was in a cervical collar," I said softly. Kendra called right then, speaker on before hello. "Noah, growth is not linear. Don't throw away 10 years because my daughter is passionate." My mom texted simultaneously, "You don't have to live inside someone else's storm to prove you're steady." The contrast felt like turning on two lamps, one warm, one interrogating. Patel filed for a legal separation that afternoon. Financial misconduct, marital waste, temporary orders for the condo and moose. I signed digitally with a stylus that wobbled only a little. Minutes later, my phone buzzed. Temporary hearing set. Please preserve all evidence. Boring, beautiful words. Riley tried one more script. Let's do 6 months of openness with radical honesty. I slid her own printed rules back across the table. No sleepovers, full transparency, and placed the hotel email beside it. We only offer guest suites. Her face folded. She reached for my hands, then for the floor as if lower might be safer. 1 more month, she whispered into the carpet. I'll cut my hair. I'll delete the internet. I'll be holy. I'll be boring. The words sounded like costumes tried on in bad lighting. New plan, I said. 30 more days of glass while we mediate. No contact with him. Therapy you don't pick. Written timeline. Then we land the plane, one way or the other. She nodded fast, then slower, then not at all. You'll regret this, she murmured, and a beat later, the softer refrain, I love you. Both lines had been overused. I spent that evening at the condo taking pictures of serial numbers while Moose followed like a small foreman. I labeled boxes winter coats and old books that were neither, and drove a binder of receipts to a safe deposit box because my trust in clouds had limits. At midnight, my phone lit with an unknown text. Tell your husband to relax. He's safe. No name. Just the watch emoji. I didn't answer. I screenshotted. Then I powered the phone down and listened to Moose breathe until my own lungs remembered how. Kendra, my MO, insisted on a healing dinner. My mom called it triage with casserole. We met at Kendra's condo, exposed brick, ring light parked in the corner like a houseplant. Riley arrived glossy-eyed with a pan of baked ziti, as if cheese could spackle trust. Her brother Jace drifted in late wearing a vintage band tee and the expression of a man who asks for rides but never gas money. My parents came with pie and quiet backbone. We got through 3 polite sentences before Kendra lifted her glass. To radical honesty and the courage to evolve. My dad murmured, to telling the truth, like a toast that didn't ask permission. I plugged a thumb drive into their TV. I brought a timeline, I said, calm as I could manage. First slide, the rooftop still, Riley in the corner banquette with the John Watch shadow. Kendra waved a manicured hand. Angles lie. Second slide, boutique hotel email, we only offer guest suites. Third, Amex charges labeled wellness at 10:54 p.m. Fourth, the balcony audio waveform. I tapped and Riley's voice filled the room. Back entrance, Fern Key, 5 minutes, coach. Riley sank to her knees so fast the rug sighed. Palms up. Practice tears. Please Noah. It was champagne stupid. I left. I slept at Maya's. I will do therapy, a post-nup, full passwords. I will sleep on the floor. Just, don't end us. Kendra leaned forward, eyes bright with performance. This is contextless. My daughter is passionate. Passion gets messy. She turned to me, voice syruped. If you love her, you keep this in the family. My mom set the pie down with surgical care. Humiliation isn't treatment, she said. But sunlight is. Then the skeleton door blew open. Jace, who never reads a room, snorted. Is this about Dante only? Because there was that vendor trip in LA, the NDA one. The room pivoted. Riley went paper white. Jace. Kendra hissed. He shrugged. You said it was gray area. Before I could speak, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Hi, I'm Mara, Dante's fiancé. Someone sent me your reality log. I'm 8 weeks pregnant. Thank you for the proof. A second text followed. A photo of 2 suitcases and a sonogram on a kitchen table. The floor retilted. I put the phone face down. Riley saw the movement and snapped to anger. Are you sharing our private life with strangers now? Then, whiplash, back to pleading on her knees, hands clutching my ankles. I am begging you. I'll be boring. Holy. Whatever you need. My dad folded his hands. Standing up starts with standing up, he said gently, to me more than her. Another ping, HR from Riley's company. Please provide factual timeline regarding supervisory boundary concerns. Kendra went pale at the word supervisory. You will ruin her career, she said, voice tight. She did, my mom answered, kind but iron. Riley reached higher, fingers on my laces like a drowning person gripping a dock. 1 month, she whispered. I'll cut off my hair. I'll delete the internet. I'll quit. Please. Jace cleared his throat. Speaking of months, any chance you could lend me first month's rent? Landlord's being intense. Kendra didn't blink. This family could turn a hurricane into a tip jar. I exhaled. Here's what happens, I said, steady. Joint discretionary cards are frozen. I move my half per the prenup. I'll cooperate with HR. Facts only. Mediation next week. Reimbursement for affair charges. No contact outside counsel or therapist. Riley's forehead touched my shoe. Don't make my life be this, she sobbed. Your life is what you build when you stop lying, I said, and unplugged the drive. The ring light hummed in the silence like a distant storm gathering its lines. The morning after that healing dinner, I brewed coffee that could buff shoes and called a lawyer a coworker swore by, Miss Patel, voice like a sharp pencil. I walked her through my desktop folders, Yes, I named them reality, balcony, hotel, HR. She listened, then said the line that steadied me, keep your adjectives for therapy. Send me timestamps and policy. Revenge, it turns out, wears a blazer and loves PDFs. HR emailed while we were on the call. Please provide a factual timeline regarding supervisory boundary concerns. I sent dates, dollars, and the balcony transcript. No color, no comments. Ms. Patel froze our discretionary card, moved my half of savings per the prenup, and drafted dissipation of marital assets plus documented infidelity. She underlined, no contact outside counsel or therapist. You're building exits, not explosions, she said. Riley tried every door anyway. A burner email, it was only kissing. Then at 12:41 a.m., soft knocks. Through the peephole, hoodie mascara comets. Noah? I can't breathe without you. When I didn't open, she sank to her knees on the hallway runner, palms up, whispering promises like beads on a string. Post-nup, passwords, therapy, delete everything. I texted, please route through counsel. She cried a little more, left a bakery box like carbs could weld porcelain, and disappeared into the elevator's hush. The skeletons kept marching. My bank flagged a late-night store card application in my name. IP address traced to Kendra's Wi-Fi. When I forwarded the alert, Riley replied, it was for household items. Kendra sent prayer hands and 5 minutes later, a spreadsheet titled restitution plan as if I were accounts payable. Jace DM'd, don't go nuclear king, plus a sunglasses emoji. That family communicates like bumper stickers. By Thursday, HR moved like a metronome. Dante stepped back to focus on personal matters, which is corporate for pushed. Mara, his fiancée, wrote again, your receipts help me leave before the baby arrives. A photo, 2 suitcases under a bassinet. It landed heavy and right at the same time. I staged my life like a clean exit. New P.O. box. Solo checking. Cloud backups of taxes, titles, serials. I shot photos of every room and labeled boxes with boring words, winter, books, tools, so curiosity would nap. A small sublet near the river popped open, I signed. The landlord shook my hand like he'd seen this movie. Riley sensed the ground shifting and doubled down on theater. At noon she was brazen, you're policing me. At 5, contrite, knees to tile, I'll be holy. At 9, resentful, you're obsessed with details. Then at midnight a new twist, I'm late, she whispered at my door. For one heartbeat, the floor vanished. I walked her to the pharmacy, bought a test, waited under fluorescent lights. One line. Relief and sadness arrived in the same coat. When we got back to the lobby, she tried one last pivot, anger first, tears second. You think you won? Enjoy being the safe guy. The doorman studied a package label like it contained the Declaration of Independence. I kept my voice even. Truth first. Or not at all. Upstairs, I packed the last box and slid my ring into a walnut dish I'd made in shop class. It didn't look like failure. It looked like a key I was allowed to return. Tomorrow would be move day, quiet, early, efficient. Paper was in motion. Locks were next. Quiet finally felt like a plan. I picked a Thursday because Thursdays look harmless. At 7 a.m., the movers Miss Patel recommended arrived, black shirts, no chatter, cash envelope, while Moose watched from my parents' car like a concerned uncle. I'd staged the boxes with camouflage labels, winter, books, tools. Before we lifted a thing, I photographed every room, every serial number, the heirloom clock Kendra swore I didn't appreciate. On the kitchen island I set a tidy folder labeled truth, hotel receipts, rideshare logs, the balcony transcript, and a one-liner in my handwriting, I'm choosing gravity. Riley patted in mid-mascara, stopped at the half-empty living room and the play began. First act, anger. You're abandoning me? Second act, whiplash, knees on tile, palms up. Please Noah. Post-nup. Passwords. I'll be good. Third act, blade. You'll never do better than me. You're safe. The doorman, a pro, pretended the package in his hand contained the Bill of Rights. I walked past, gentle and firm. Route everything through counsel. She grabbed my sleeve, then let go when my mother stepped in with the world's softest bulldozer voice. Up, Riley. Dad carried a box past like a referee who also fixes hinges. 2 unexpected pings hit before I reached the elevator. First, an HOA notice slid under the door, noise complaints tied to Dante's late-night rehearsals at our place. Second, a smug text from Trevor, the party video guy, we should talk before things leak. I forwarded it to Ms. Patel, who replied with a 3-sentence preservation notice so clean it felt like Febreze for threats. Trevor went instantly quiet. By lunch I had keys to the sublet near the river, a lease taped inside the cabinet, and Moose inspecting corners like a landlord. The silence wasn't empty, it was honest. I ate cereal out of a mixing bowl and opened the windows until the citrus smoke ghosts gave up. Fallout arrived on schedule. HR's calendar invite, final review, brand partnerships. Serena from Riley's team, block number, said, "Whatever happens, the juniors feel safer now." Mara sent a photo of a bassinet beside 2 suitcases, choosing gravity. Kendra posted a ring light monologue about forgiveness warriors, then accidentally CC'd me on an email to a reputation manager. Jace DM'd a snake emoji and "Don't go nuclear, king." I muted the thread and felt my pulse settle like dust. That night Riley showed at my building gate with daisies, then slid down the bars to her knees. "You win," she whispered, then louder, "Please don't let them fire me. I'll never speak to him again." For the first time I believed she believed it, in that hour. I handed through the bars a printed copy of the separation terms. "I'm not trying to win," I said. "I'm trying to stop losing." The gate clicked closed with that small, merciful sound I've started to trust. Mediation day looked like a waiting room for complicated apologies. Beige walls, tissues every 6 feet, a carafe of coffee pretending to be brave. Ms. Patel slid a neat binder across the table. Tabs for receipts, policy, timeline, like a surgeon laying out instruments. Riley arrived late in navy and sunglasses, brisk first, then soft. She sat, stood, sat again, and, because reflex is stronger than strategy, dropped to her knees before anyone spoke. "Please, Eli," she whispered. "Yes, that's me. Palms up." I was empty. He was noise. "I'll sign everything." The mediator blinked like there wasn't a checkbox for kneeling. We stuck to nouns and numbers. Patel summarized, boutique hotel charges, rideshares, balcony clip, company policy. HR dialed in, clinical as a ruler. Riley cycled her whole repertoire. It was just kissing. I slept at Kendra's. "He's safe," I confused calm with boredom. When Patel played the balcony audio, Riley folded inward, then popped back up swinging. "If you loved me, you wouldn't weaponize paperwork." I almost smiled. Paperwork is how you stop the bleeding. Outcome: I keep the condo, the car, and my retirement accounts. Riley reimburses the wellness and rehearsal spend on a schedule. No spousal support, prenup plus for cause HR finding. No contact outside counsel/therapy. HR closed with a sentence that landed like a soft door. "Per policy, Ms. Lane is separated, Mr. D has resigned." Not triumph. Stitches. I didn't go home to Champagne. I went to the sublet and walked Moose along the river until our breaths matched. In my head the old loop tried to start. Was I boring? Was I not enough? But it kept bumping into new facts. I showed up, I cooked, I trusted. Boring is what unsafe people call steady. I put the condo keys on the counter and didn't touch them for 3 days. Then I did something small and not small. Signed up for a weekend kayak building workshop at the community makerspace. Saturday morning smelled like cedar and glue. A retired boatrite named Alma said, "Measure twice, cut once, forgiveness optional." We steamed ribs, bent them to the keel, and the hull took shape under patient clamps. Every shavings curl felt like static leaving my body. Other new lanes, the climbing gym on Thursdays, chalk dust, forearms, strangers yelling "You've got it." A dusk running loop on the greenway, first mile hurt, third mile healed, and a low-stakes open mic where I did 5 minutes on teaching a beagle to spin, instead of spinning for people who don't deserve the show. A woman with a denim jacket mouthed "same," and that single word held. Riley's side kept broadcasting. Kendra posted a ring light sermon about forgiveness warriors, then emailed me Harper. "Sorry Riley, restitution plan V3 like I'm accounts payable." Jace subtweeted me with a snake emoji and a crypto link. I muted the thread. Silence arrived like oxygen. Mara, Dante's wife, sent one photo. A tiny apartment, a crib, a sticky note on the door that read "Choose gravity." I taped the image inside a cabinet. That night I moved one box back to the condo. A pan, 2 mugs, Moose's ridiculous donut bed, and oiled the stubborn hinge my dad pretends needs him. The place didn't sound empty. It sounded available. I wrote 3 lines on the fridge. Keep, home, Moose, peace. Learn, scarf joint, roll a kayak, sleep through. The last one felt like a dare I might finally win. The decree came as a calm little PDF. Ms. Patel forwarded it with 2 words, final. Breathe. I did, and the breath reached places it hadn't in months. Riley attempted one last curtain call, daisies on my mat, a note about therapy, then the familiar kneel in the hallway. "Tell me how to fix this, Eli. I'll be new." I helped her up. Be new, I said. Just not here. The door closed with that small, merciful click I've learned to love. Kendra posted about patriarchy versus passion. Jace replied with a rocket emoji. I watered my basil and took Moose to the park. Life didn't explode. It unfolded. The condo turned from lifeboat to home. Hooks by the door, a coffee mug that finally feels like mine, Moose's bed promoted to living room CO. Thursday climbs became ritual, chalk, breath, trust your feet not your panic. On Saturdays I steamed cedar ribs at the makerspace until they bent like they'd always meant to. Alma winked. See? Wood remembers the shape of honest. I started sleeping through the night. That felt like a miracle disguised as an adult skill. My parents stayed in their lanes, mom with soup and surgical truths. You don't have to live inside someone else's storm. Dad with a level and quiet approval, sturdy. On Riley's side the noise kept spinning but further away. HR sent a final note. Policy updated, training strengthened. Serena from her team texted, people feel safer. Your receipts mattered. It landed like a bandage I didn't know I needed. A small twist I didn't expect. On the greenway I kept seeing a runner with a navy cap and disaster-proof smile. One day we matched pace, traded dog treats and blister tape, and she said her name was Nora. No violins, no ferns, just 2 miles of easy conversation that didn't ask me to audition. We parted with a wave. The absence of urgency felt like a luxury. I finished the kayak the same week the decree ink dried. Launch day was gray and kind. The hull slid into the river and held, so did I. Paddle, breathe, repeat. Halfway out I realized I wasn't narrating the past to an invisible jury. I was just a person in a boat heading somewhere on purpose. What I learned, for anyone reading this at 2 a.m. with a phone glow and a knot in your ribs. Your gut isn't drama, it's data. Collect it. Paper beats panic. Safe is not an insult. It's a harbor. Be proud if people don't drown in you. Revenge that lasts is administrative. Policies, signatures, boundaries. Quiet wins stick. If you try to stay, write your exit while you try. Love is not a hall pass for being used. Healing is craft, not spectacle. Miles, clamps, chalk, decent meals, regular sleep. I was the guy who watered plants, walked the dog, fixed the hinge, steady to a fault. Turns out steady is the platform you build from when everything falls. I didn't become a different man. I became the same one on purpose. If you're in it, make a folder, make a plan, make a door. Then walk through. On the other side is not fireworks. It's room. And room, I've learned, is better than fireworks every time. I have many other stories. Go to my channel, subscribe so you don't lose us. Give me a thumbs up.